Section 15, Case Study Practice. Case study. You decide to visit your friend who lives about 20 miles away. The journey will take you on various roads including country lanes and A roads. You've been before, so you think you know the way. You also have a mobile phone with you, so you'll be able to ring for directions if you get lost. During the journey you go the wrong way and need to turn round. Later on, you decide to ring your friends to make sure you are still travelling in the right direction. Mark 1 answer. To turn round after going the wrong way, you decide to make a U-turn in the road. Before doing this, what should you do? Look over your shoulder for a final check. Case study. You decide to visit your friend who lives about 20 miles away. Yes, that's the same one. Right, okay. So this time, mark 3 answers. What should you do as you approach this bridge on your journey? And it's a hump bridge. So the 3 answers are slow down, consider using the horn, and beware of pedestrians. Then mark 1 answer. During your journey, you ring your friend. What is the safest way for you to use your mobile phone? Find a suitable place to stop. Then mark 2 answers on this one. You are travelling along a country road. A horse and rider are approaching. What should you do? Go slowly past and give plenty of room. Then mark 1 answer. Near the end of your journey, you come to a pedestrian crossing with pedestrians who are hesitating to cross. Why should you never wave people across at pedestrian crossings? There may be another vehicle coming. Case study practice. You plan to visit a friend who lives in a town a full day's drive away. You'll be away for a week. 2 weeks before the journey, you realise that your vehicle tax will expire while you're away. At the beginning of your journey, you reach a roundabout. Another car cuts in front of you, causing you to do an emergency stop. Later, you join the motorway, where a red X is flashing above the outside lane. While travelling along the motorway, you start to feel tired and stop at a service station. It's just after 11 p.m. when you park outside your friend's house. What should you do 2 weeks before you leave? Renew your vehicle tax immediately. What should you do at the service station? Very specific here, but it says drink 2 cups of coffee and rest for 15 minutes. What should you do at the roundabout? Stay calm and continue when it's safe. What must you do on the motorway? Stay out of the outside lane. Why must you avoid using your horn when parked outside your friend's house? Because you're stationary. Case study practice again. So case study practice B. You're taking your 14-year-old nephew on a day trip. You drive through town and reach a zebra crossing. A man carrying a white cane with a red band is waiting to cross. You join a dual carriageway and see a sign which has a white circle with diagonal black stripe. As you drive across a roundabout, you're involved in a collision with a cyclist. You and your nephew aren't injured. The cyclist is conscious but is lying at the side of the road and their leg is bleeding heavily. Who's responsible for your nephew wearing a seatbelt? He is. What do the markings on the man's cane mean? He's deaf and blind. What does the sign mean? National speed limit applies. What should you do at the roundabout? Put on your hazard warning lights. What should you do about the cyclist? Restrict the blood flow from their leg. Case study practice C. You're driving into the town centre. The weather is cold and wet. There are several cars parked on either side of the main road. It's market day and there are many pedestrians around. Ahead of you, a large van is being unloaded on your side of the road and there's oncoming traffic. Later, you reach a junction with some traffic lights that aren't working. There are several other vehicles in the area. On your way home, your steering begins to feel a little heavy. You stop at a nearby filling station. What's the recommended time gap that should be left between vehicles in these weather conditions? 4 seconds. What should you watch out for in this area? Pedestrians stepping out from between vehicles. How should you react to the van? Stop and wait until the way ahead is clear. Who has right of way at the lights? No one. What might cause the steering to feel this way? Tyre pressure is too low. Case study practice D. You're driving to work on a single carriageway road. It's early morning and there's patchy fog, which is very thick in places. A sports car is travelling too closely behind you. Later, you reach a roundabout where you need to turn right. The approach road is still a single carriageway. There's only one line of traffic. When you get to work, you find that the car park is full. You have to park on the main road facing downhill. You need to leave some camera equipment in your vehicle until later. What lights would you use under these weather conditions? Headlights with fog lights as necessary. What should you do about the sports car? Slowly drop back to allow more room in front. How should you position your vehicle when approaching the roundabout? Move nearer to the centre line and signal to go right. How should you position your front wheels when parking here? Turned in towards the curb. What should you do with the equipment? Lock it away securely out of sight. And case study practice E. You're taking a friend and their 2 children to the coast. The children are aged 2 and 6. With fuel and tyre pressures done, you make other final checks. After helping the children into the vehicle, you set off. It rained heavily overnight and the roads are still wet in places. However, the sun is now shining and the day is very warm and bright. Once on the motorway, the traffic is very heavy. A large goods vehicle is travelling in front of you. Further on, you see an overhead gantry with the number 40 in a red circle showing above all lanes, including the hard shoulder. What else should you check before your journey? Oil and water levels. How must you seat the younger child in a suitable child restraint? What hazards would you expect to encounter in these weather conditions? Glare from the sun on wet roads. What position should you take behind the goods vehicle? Well back so you can see ahead and be seen. What does the sign on the overhead gantry mean? This lane can be used as a running lane at a speed of 40 miles per hour. And so ends that section.